Hello, everyone. This is Ron. I'm the help guy, and I'm a teacher. And today I'm going to review step by step using ChatGPT to create a new curriculum reading and a vocabulary list of keywords with definitions from the reading to import into Quizlet, to easily import into Quizlet. And then, of course, multiple choice questions from the reading to import into a Google Forms quiz. And the video will also include a few tips on formatting Google Docs and a few tips on Google Forms quiz and Google Classroom, and an encouragement to use a clipboard manager on your computer. So as you watch this, please consider clicking the like button to help spread the word of this and sharing this video on your social media account. And if you feel so inclined, joining my Patreon campaign by becoming a member. So my background is I teach sophomore Japanese female college students who are studying in the USA and learning English as a second language as well as American history and society. So I teach a course. We call it an American Studies course, and I want to create a new reading for my students about women business leaders in the USA, followed by some vocabulary review using Quizlet and then a Google Forms quiz. So, of course, I assume you have a ChatGPT account, likely the free one, but maybe some of you have the paid one. I'm going to use the paid one. Uh, So here's the prompt. Prompts are important. You have to experiment with various prompts to get what you want. But this one works for this purpose. You can change the length, you can change the level or omit the level, and you just give it a topic. So I'm going to copy that prompt, go into ChatGPT, go into my version 4, and I just paste it in, and then I click right here, and let's see what it does. So it's generating, this is called generative artificial intelligence, and it's generating, it's for the first time, this content. And it also uses, it has a title, of course, and then it does sections. And what we're going to do is we're going to give, when we copy this to Google Docs, we're going to give the style as a title style, a heading 1 style, and this will be the normal body style, and so on. And then we'll be able to do some cool stuff with styles in Google Docs, as you will see. And also, we will, in Google Docs, we will insert a few, 2 or 3 free images into the reading. Now, these are called Creative Commons licensed images, because all images, if you go to images.google.com and you do a search here, for example, American women business leaders, some of these images may or may not be okay to use. But when you are in your image section and you click tools, there's a section over here called usage rights. And these are the free ones, but most of these are in this category, and these are free. Now you can get all of these free ones inside of Google Docs. I'll show you in a moment. So let's go back to our essay, and I'm going to select the entire essay and just count the words. I have a little tool here called Clip Tools, and I can look at the stats, and it's 503 words, 603 words. So that's That's about what I wanted. So I'm copying that to my clipboard. I'm going to open Google Docs, create a brand new document, paste it in, and always at the end of the document when I do this, I like to give due credit to ChatGPT because I did not write this. I'm going to insert a horizontal line and just say written by ChatGPT. Sometimes I do this, but today I'm not going to do any revisions. So I will just do that. And I make it italics a little bit smaller, and I put it over to the right. Where I work, we have a librarian, and we've talked about this. Is this okay to do? And we both feel, and she feels she keeps up on copyright laws and very strict about that. A lot of people are writing books with ChatGPT and materials as long as you give due credit to your artificial intelligence tool. We both feel, and I think others feel, that this is a legitimate way to write, and in this case, new curriculum. So I'm going to go ahead and do some formatting. I'm going to make this, these are the formatting styles. I'll make it a title. And then this will be heading 1. And up here, you'll notice there's also an keyboard shortcut for all these. So I'm going to do that down here, the keyboard shortcut. There's 2 big advantages to using the styles, and in this case, the heading 1 especially, and the title. One is, suppose I have a big, long document with many, many sections like this. And then later I want to change the format. In this case, we'll just change the color and make it italics. Any type of change. Now the heading 1 style is this. However, I made the change here. So if I go up here, I can now update the style to match my changes, and it will change everywhere that there's a heading 1 style. So even if you have 50 pages, it will all change these particular styles. Another thing about these styles, heading 1 and title, is over here in Google Docs, there's an outline button. If you click this, you see the sections of the text that are styled, in this case, title and heading 1, 2, 3, heading 1 and heading 1 and heading 1 and heading, and so on. So this is just like a navigation tool that's very useful. These are clickable links, especially for longer documents. So we'll close that. And now I'm going to make that just a little bit smaller. Now I have my document, and now I can start inserting some keywords in here with images, some key images. So I'm just going to take a couple words. I'm going to put my cursor right there, and in Google Docs you've got insert image. When you do this, search the web. These are the Creative Commons licensed images. So I will paste that here, and I will have some example images of this. And I'm going to choose one and insert it. Now, of course, it's inserting it full size. I'm going to resize it just to make it smaller. And then I'm going to wrap it. Now, if you do not see these here, make sure that your page setup is not showing pageless. It's showing this one here. Because if you have this selected, you will not have those options for wrapping the text. So I'm going to wrap it and probably move it over there. And we can put more as we go. But this is now I want to make sure and title it properly. That's the title of the document. This is now pretty much finished. It's a good idea to look at this to make sure that the important information is accurate if there's statistics, especially with version 3.5 of ChatGPT. There can be a few errors that need to be checked. Okay, we have finished creating the reading, and now we're going to the next step, which is creating multiple choice questions from the reading for Google Forms quiz. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the article again, and it may be in your window already. I'd like to start with a new window, but it probably doesn't matter. If it's in your window already, you're probably okay. So I'm copying this onto my clipboard, and then I'm going to copy the prompt and to my clipboard. And then I'm going to go to ChatGPT. I'm going to paste in my prompt, and below it, now at this point, if I hit the enter key or return key, it will execute this prompt, and it has nothing to refer to because it says the article below, but the article isn't below. So I have to hit the shift key on my keyboard with my left finger, index finger, and then on the right, the enter or return key. And now I'm on a new line, and now I can paste in the article. So we got the whole article pasted in. If indeed you're using the same window, you would just change this to above. So now I'm going to execute this command right here, this prompt. And it's going through the questions, and it's making a bullet list, which is very important for this activity. While this is doing this, and it's going to generate 20 questions, I'm going to go to a Google Classroom. I have a sandbox one that is just for practice. I'm going to go to classwork and create a brand new quiz assignment. And I'm going to title it Women in Business. I should have copied that to my clipboard back here, and I'll call it quiz. Now that will be the title of the assignment. Now we go into the form. And by the way, with a Google quiz, you want to make sure this is on. It's on by default, but just confirm that. I'm going to go into my Google form, give the title of the quiz name at the top, and then also give the file itself same name or different name. So now we have questions. Now, because we're asking ChatGPT to make 20 questions, we know how much the value should be if we want 100 points total. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first one here. I'm going to make a template. Just put anything in there that's easy to select by clicking a couple times. And then, of course, we're going to do multiple choice. And then over here, you can make it required or not. They can't finish the test and submit it until all questions have been answered. That's up to you. I like to shuffle the option order. That's for proctoring. It's a little bit easier so neighbors can't see the same option order. And we go answer key. So because we're going to have 20 questions, we want each question to be 5-point value. Now we have this template, and all we have to do is duplicate it right here 20 times. And if you lose count, you can see up here, I've done it 5 times. I'm going to stop there, but you get the idea. I have 5 templates, and you're going to need 20 of them. But let's just start with the number one. I'm going back to ChatGPT, and here it is. It didn't finish. And this happens occasionally. The server gets a hiccup, so all I'd have to do is say finish. And it not only didn't finish the 20 of them, it got abrupted. It got interrupted at number 18, so it will continue at that point with that simple prompt word, which also included the punctuation that goes here. So that'll be fine. Now you're going to want to check these, especially if it's an important quiz, because most of the time the questions and answers are correct, but some of the time, especially with version 3.5, it could be incorrect. So please review. So let's go back up to number one. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the question and then the entire option choices. I just triple click on that and copy it to my keyboard with my keyboard command, Command C or Control C in Windows. And then in this case, I just drag down all four options. So I'm going to select those. So I've got two things on my clipboard, this and all of this. And I may have to come back, or you can remember the answer. So now we go to Google Forms and we paste in our first item. And then here, because my clipboard, the first thing on it is the last thing I copied, all I do is paste, and it pastes everything. This is a very nice feature. It won't do this in Kahoot, but it does it in Google Forms. Now I'm gonna make sure that I choose this for the answer, and we'll do one more. So I'm going to do this, copy all the options, and remember it's 2014. Now I go to my second template item, paste the question, and then paste the option, and it was 2014. You got to make sure, yes. And we just continue this pattern. And you make sure you have 20 templates down here. Currently we have 5. You can always keep track here. Now regarding settings here, there's a couple things you need to look at. One of them is I always do this, and because if there's a question you yourself have gotten wrong an answer, you can update it and everything will be okay because you haven't released the grades yet, and everything will automatically adjust if you click your import grades again in your homework. And then down here, I make sure that responses, just one response for a test. That's important. And then you can restrict it to any domain if you want. And that's it here. And everyth't looks good. Now I'm going to close this Google form. It saves. Everything is saved. And it didn't update here yet, the name, but I'm going to save it as a draft. I'll give it a test, whatever your grade category is, and due date and topic if you want. I'm going to save it as a draft. Then it's a draft. Students can't see that. I'm going to go back in, and it did make the change here. And I can assign it on the day of the test when I'm ready to give it to the students. So we have covered that. Now we're going to do this. This one is very, very easy. And let's take a look at the article is right there. It probably understands the article that's up there, and it knows we're referring to that. So we're going to try this. We're going to copy this prompt, and you can change this to anything. And this is important, as you will see in a moment. So let's see. Now create a 20-word vocabulary, keywords, and definitions from this reading above. Use table format, should be good. Well, it's table format, and I will comment about table format in a moment, but I'm going to open Quizlet now and go back here. Now, table format is is recognizable in a spreadsheet. So basically, these items are being separated by what they call tab delimited or comma delimited spacing, which is a spreadsheet term. Those terms are spreadsheet terms. But in our case, we don't need to know the terms. All we need to know is that these two items, these two columns are separated. And when I copy them to the clipboard, that separation will also be included when I paste it into Quizlet. So looks like we're almost done. Yes. And it is done. It's got 20 words. So all I do is start with the first one and drag down. Well, let's just do this. I'm going to do hold down the shift key and get the last one. You can either drag or shift click. So I got that on my clipboard. Go to Quizlet and create a new study set. And let's just make sure that should work, study set. And then, of course, give it a title. Description is optional. So I'm going to put a date on here because I'm going to have to delete this later, but that's not important. So I'm going to import now the contents of my clipboard. And all I do is paste. And it's right here. It's at the top. So there it is. Now you see the cursor's down here. So I'm going to move the cursor to the end of the last word here. And then all I do is click import. And then there's no language chosen yet. So I click on any item here on the left side. And it will, I guess English is chosen. Make sure that you see English there. And it should be English for all of them once you choose it. When you create it, it will revert to English for all of them. Yes, it does. Okay, so we're going to create now. Of course, you can add images, and Quizlet will look at the word, and they will find images for you or your own images. I'm just going to not add images. I'm just going to create, and it's done. That Quizlet is done. That's very nice. Okay, I think we're getting near the end. Just want to comment on clipboard managers. They really, really help. So my clipboard has 100 items. I mean, I can just go up and down with arrows. And some of them are free. That article gives some good Windows clipboards. On the Mac, I use this one. It does cost. But this one is a nice one too. It just came out in the last year. I like that I use it some as well. So thank you very much, and good luck with your teaching. Thank you for watching.